Hello everyone and welcome to or welcome back to Tinderlost Gaming, and welcome to episode 1 of my playthrough of Outbreak, the board game. Outbreak, the board game, is produced by Dark Frontier Games, and I believe Dark Frontier Games is headed up by a guy called Richard Davies. I spoke with Richard very briefly at the recent UK Games Expo, and I think we got together on the second day. First day was absolutely manic. Trying to get to the different stalls was difficult, and I completely bypassed this game, but saw the game from a distance as I was walking down one of the sort of streets there, and the game actually looked fantastic. So let's get across to the table so we can see what we're looking at. Right, here we are at the table. As I said, very visually impactful as I was walking around the expo, and Richard, bless him, we had some time to have a bit of a chat about the game, and I didn't tell him at the time, but probably the easiest sale of the day, because within about 10 seconds of A, seeing it, and B, Richard talking me through it, I'd made up my mind to buy it. So bought it and wanted to get it to the table because it's visually stunning, and actually gameplay is really good as well, clearly. I've had one game off camera just to try and get my head around the rules. So this is my second game. See how we get on. There's a fair amount going on. As you can see, a hex-based game, and the general principle of it is that you've got this settlement that you're trying to sort of fend off an outbreak of zombies. So classic Tinderlost gaming sort of genre. And in a bit, we're going to put a zombie horde around the settlement, and basically we've got to try and survive, kill zombies, gain experience, gain better equipment and skills, and try and survive. Now, there's a fair amount going on in regards to symbols, and there's sort of a good. The rule book and sort of a quick sheet is really good. But that does mean, just to make sure I get things correct, there'll be a fair amount of just referring to symbols, maybe taking my time to make sure I've got the symbols correct. So these sessions are going to be about an hour long. Obviously multiple sessions, because it'll be a fairly longish game. It's the scenario I'm playing is apparently around about 2 hours, but I think probably with me talking and all that type of stuff, it might last a bit longer than that. So let's have a look at what we're doing. So we're playing as 4, obviously it's a solo game, but I'm playing as 4 survivors. I'm playing as an assassin, a soldier, a diplomat, and a pilot. So let's have a look at a breakdown of one of the cards first of all to see what we're talking about. So they've got one off to one side here, and you can see this is a sentinel. The symbols at the top, looking at it, he's got a move of 1. So the arrow is how many movement hex spaces they can go. 3 with a heart is obviously the health. 2 is the amount of fortune cards that a character gets at the start of a game. And the symbol to the right hand side is their preferred resource. There are sort of 5 different types of resource in this game, which you use in attacks to kill zombies and to do certain things. Every character has a special rule, and the Sentinels is place a garrison for free, but we're not using him, so it doesn't really matter, but that's the special rule. And then underneath is his backpack. So that's how many resources that you can take as well. So this Sentinel can carry up to 5 resources. As you take wounds, you mark wounds off of your resource. So if you took 2 wounds, you'd be down to 3 spaces on the Sentinel. But that's how it goes. The rest of the card is the same across all cards. There's a develop actions bit, which I'll come to in a bit, and a round summary. So that's a character card very quickly. Now there are some really good tutorial videos that Dark Frontier Games and Richard have put out. I'd suggest this is not going to be a learn to play video. This is me playing it. I mean, obviously I'm going to explain some stuff as we go, but this is not designed as a learn to play. Watching my games, it's not a good idea to use my tactics as a learn to play. So I'd suggest go and have a look at the Dark Frontier YouTube channel and website, because some of the tutorials are on there. So let's have a look at a settlement card. But actually, before we do that, let's go back to what we're actually doing. So we're playing Outbreak Diaries, which is mission 1, called Zombie Dawn, and it's one for 1 to 8 players, and it's an easy. And it says, Zombie Dawn. The newly dead have arrived at your small settlement. This is the beginning of the outbreak. We start with 3 extra garrisons, which I'm going to come to in a bit, and we'll put those on the board. And the Horde deck, which is this big stack here, we've got 25 level 1 cards, 25 level 2, and we're going to add a level 1 boss in a bit. I'm going to go through that now. Let's have a look at what one of these tiles actually means when you turn it over. So we've got, as an example here, we've got a Dark Horde. It takes the 2 symbols at the top of what you need to kill it. So to kill this, we're going to need 2 ammo to kill it. All right, so that's fairly straightforward. The middle 2 symbols, the 2 arrows, when a zombie starts, when it flips over, it starts on that. These are green, by the way, and I've got a green screen. So a zombie starts there, and as the next turn goes on, it moves to the next one, and then it moves to overrun. Okay? Again, it'll all come clear as we play the game. This is a level 2. We can tell by the level 2 in the bottom. And so if we kill it, we get 2 experience. The 2 symbols on the left and the right, the one on the left is an immediate thing that happens once you turn the tile over. And so for that one, check in my handy dandy icon cards. That means survivors cannot use resource tokens while this horde is in play. So that's the one on the left, those 3 squares. The one on the right is what happens when you kill it. And that would be you collect an extra resource. So once we do that, and each of them are different colours, different levels, but we're only playing level 1s and level 2s and 1 level 1 boss. So we've got 50 in this stack here, which I've shuffled. And these are all the bosses that you get in the game. And I'm just going to pick one at random. We'll choose that one. So these bosses go. And the way you do it in this game is I'm going to take the top 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We put the boss into there. And then we're going to shuffle these up as best as you can. Shuffle very, very good quality card X's. There we go, that'll do. And then those go on the bottom of the zombie stack. So that's our zombie deck, if you want to call it that, or a horde deck done. They're going to go up there. We're going to use those in a second. A settlement card. We'll choose this off the top. This is a freeway. It's got a freeway symbol on it. And in the middle there, you've got that hand symbol. When you come to gain survivor skill cards, you use that, whatever hex you're on, you use that symbol. So this one, for example, is, where are we? There should be a little symbol somewhere. Can't see it quite here. Oh well, I'll come back to that. But there are 3 different symbols: strength, something else, and something else. And that will determine what type of skill you can learn. Now, the bottom 2 icons, are when you request settlement aid, you can do one of those two. So for the one on the right, if we were to request, if we had one of our characters on this card and we requested settlement aid and we used the one on the right, we would get a gasoline and a supply token into our pack. The one on the right means that survivors... Oh, okay. Let's have a look at freeway. I can find it. We can't defend from this settlement. So if you're on the freeway, you can't actually defend from that settlement. All right. So that's quite simply settlement. And that's obviously all of our, take that off, all of our other ones around here have got certain symbols. And we'll go through that as we play. I'll just give those a mix up. Hopefully we'll be able to use these during the game to build out our settlement. Now, each of our characters starts up in the main base, which is the one right in the middle. And we've used the guide here for Zombie Dawn to place our areas around it. We've got a garage, a hospital, a slums, a police station, a workshop and a library, which we're trying to defend. Top right hand of the board is our day tracker, currently on day 0. As we go through the days, we'll get to 10 days, then we'll go back to 1. Then we get to 20, we go back to 1. Get to 30, we go back to 1. That's how that works. And there are symbols on each of the days where certain things are going to happen. On day 3, for example, we're going to get a, what are they called? A settler to put on the board. And again, we'll come to that when we get to it. But basically, settlers can wander around the board, get to a gap and then create a new settlement. The day 4 there has got a Doom card, which you'll have to play when we'll come to Doom cards in a second. We'll skip past this for a sec and we'll come down to the experience. As I said, when you kill zombies, you're going to get experience. That's going to go up and then you can spend your experience on a develop action, which are at the bottom here. So, for example, we can spend 1 XP to restore a settlement. We can spend 2 XP to build a bulwark, 3 XP to build a garrison, 4 XP to build a watchtower, 5 XP to build a schematic, 6 XP to learn a skill, 7 to revive an incapacitated survivor, 8 to build a turret, 9 to build a fortress, and 10 to learn a second survivor skill. Doom cards are these ones here, these green ones. Certain things will happen in the game which require us then to draw a Doom card. As the name implies, they're not great. They're negatives for us. They're going to cause us problems. And when they get, what happens is they get drawn onto the track there, and at the start of the next turn, you turn them over and you apply the effects. The pink cards, or the lilac cards, are our skills. So when we learn a skill, basically what we'll do is we'll draw these cards. And as we had on the card I showed you with the little symbol, basically you would draw 3 cards, the first 3 cards with that symbol. So let's say it was that symbol there. You'd go 1, 2, and then we'd look for the next one. Go through there somewhere. There's the third one. That's the way you do it. And then from those 3 cards, you would then pick the skill that you wanted. Again, we'll give those a good old shuffle up. Doesn't really matter. And then finally, we've got our fortune cards. And again, in-game effects will allow us to take fortune cards. And we also start off with some fortune cards. And I'll go through that next as part of our setup. Okay. So, for example, the assassin at the top there, comes in with 4 fortune cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go through those in a sec. The soldier gets 2. Soldier gets 2. The diplomat gets 2. And the pilot gets 2. So let's have a look at these top to bottom. The assassin gets duct tape, where we can restore any one settlement or remove a wound. That's really good. We've got Iron Will, remove an active doom card. Lovely. Treasure Trove, take any 3 resource tokens. Oh my god, the assassin's got some really good cards. And then trading skills, 1 extra request settlement, aid action, which is good. And I'll put those on the card there so we know what we've got. The soldier has got winds change, outbreak hordes do not move. Wow. And then wise man, the survivor's experience gained is double this day. Wow, I've not come across these yet. Obviously, because I've only played it once. The diplomat is going to get grit plus 2 resource dice and attack or defense if wounded. Not too bad. Guided by faith, remove 1 wound and collect a resource. And then finally, the 2 cards for the pilot. They get restored turret from day 3. Place a turret in any settlement. That's good. And then red button, roll 2 resource dice, no skulls, no horde, equals no hordes revealed next day. Wow. 1 or 2 plus 3 hordes. Oh, okay, fair enough. That's Talking of resource dice and attacks and defends and all that type of stuff, this game uses particular dice. They come with different symbols on them for resources, as you'd expect. So if I'm rolling to attack, like I had that dark horde that needed 2 ammo, if I rolled my 3 dice and got 2 ammo, wherever the ammo is, there somewhere, like that roll, that means I could kill the dark horde. If I rolled that and only had 1 ammo, an explosive and a barricade, I could, if my character had an ammo resource, like the soldier has got an ammo resource, which are these ones here, you could add your resource into that roll to then kill the zombie. Finally, you've also got a skull on each of the dice. And that counts as a wild. So we could use that as any type of resource. So quite a cool process. There is a thing called a doom dice. You can't see it very well because it is green. But there is a doom dice which has got loads and loads of skulls on it, but it's got 1 doom card on it as well. So you can roll this when it allows you to get a better chance of success. Apologies, you can't see that very well because it's green. Have I forgotten anything? I probably have, but I think it's time to start playing. I've got my stores down here, which is all the additional resources. Once these are gone, the stores are empty. Stuff might cycle back in, put stuff back into the stores, but once they're gone, they're gone. If that makes sense. Right, okay, let's have a think about what we need to do next. Well, let's place our garrisons. Now, garrisons are quite cool because what they do is +1 resource dice in an attack or defense. Now, let's just go through that quickly. I won't actually take one of those. I'll take one of these off the side because I'm not using these. So let's say the zombie horde was here. like that, and a zombie was here. If we have a settler, or sorry, if we have a character there, that character can attack that zombie to try and kill it, and would be rolling 3 dice. If we have a garrison on that area, we'd be rolling 4 dice as an attack. Yep. If the zombies are here and it goes to the next turn, the very next thing they have to do is they're now overrunning, because the next step is off into the workshop. So the zombies overrunning, we would get a defense roll. Defense roll would be 3 plus 1, and we can still try and kill it. If we have if we have I keep calling them settlers, if we have a character there. If we don't have a character there, and there are other things that prevent this, but the zombie horde would automatically overrun into the workshop, removing the garrison, because there's nothing there to defend it. There are things that allow you to auto defense rolls, things like a turret. I know not a turret, a bulwark. If we had a bulwark there, which is one of these things, basically the first time they try and overrun, they hit the bulwark and we remove the bulwark token. A garrison actually does allow for an auto defense roll. An auto defense roll is basically there's no other people there to defend, but that would be then a straight 3 dice roll trying to kill the zombie. So that's the mechanics very, very briefly. The best thing I think is probably to start playing so that we understand and can see how we're doing. So let's take this off to one side. What we need to do now is surround our, well, before we do that, let's place these garrisons. I feel like I would like a garrison at the hospital. Police station. What does the police station have? +1 resource dice in defense. Same as the garage. The slums. Swap 1 resource for any other resource. Okay. I think I'm going to put 1 on the police station and 1 on the garage to make those sort of ultra defendable, because basically when they'd be rolling 5 dice if somebody was defending, and 4 dice if somebody's not there defending. So let's do that. And then we now need to surround our settlement with some zombies. And the idea, as I said, is to get through the stack without dying. We will see. We will see. I've placed this slightly off to the side. You can place your middle base whenever you're playing this game, to as long as they're within the sort of red, the main base itself has to be within the blue circle, and you can't go beyond the red circle for zombie hordes. I mean, you can once you start playing. This is just for setup. And I've put it off to one side for a particular reason. And the reason why I put it off to one side is because I can then get my lovely jubbly. This came with the game when I bought it, my Outbreak dice roller. Okay, so let's start playing. And like I said, I'm going to try and keep this to about an hour. So the first thing we do, opening phase, is reveal doom. In brackets, non-first day, but it's the first day today. So the first thing we do, the second thing we do, is move the day tracker. So we go to day 1. Fairly straightforward. Reveal hordes. Now it depends on, this is a 1 to 8 player game. And it does suggest, and Richard suggested it, or clearly, obviously, when we were talking, when you play solo, you play with 4 characters. And the number of zombie hordes that you reveal are based on the number of characters that you're playing, not the number of players that are playing, the number of characters that you're playing. And as, like I said, playing solo, the recommendation is always to play with 4 characters. So on that basis, we need to reveal 4 of these zombie hordes. Now, bearing in mind, when you make an attack, you are attacking, or potentially can attack, each revealed zombie horde that's attached to the police station. So, or the card. So, for example, here, which I think is what I'm going to do, I'm going to reveal this zombie horde, and that is a mummy horde. That's level 2. It takes 2 barricades to kill it, which is slightly frustrating because none of my characters have barricades. And we place our zombie on there. And when we kill that zombie, we are going to shuffle the horde discard pile and return 1 horde to the top of the current deck. Well, that's not too bad. Horde discards will go there. When we kill that, it's going to go back into the deck. We'll reveal this zombie horde, which is a zombie horde, and that is 2 gas. Okay, 2 gas to kill it. We'll put our zombie horde there, our zombie meeple. We don't get any benefits when we kill that. Now, do we want to focus our action? I think we do. Or slightly focused. So I'm going to reveal this one for the garage, which is a giant horde. A giant horde means we add 2 zombie meeples to the card. It requires a supply and a gas to kill it, but we have to kill it twice, which is slightly frustrating. And then we'll do this one here, which is a chimera horde. Put our zombie. It takes an explosive to kill it. And when we do kill it, wounds cannot be removed whilst this horde is in play. Okay, so we can't recover. We can't recover wounds while that chimera horde's in place. So we've revealed 4 of our zombies, our zombie hordes, and now we move into settlers and helpless move. Settlers will appear day 3, and they will start to make their move towards gaps, so we can then look to build out our settlement. Helpless are, defined as the elderly, children. Those they can't really help themselves. If the helpless die, which these ones here, that's the game over. So they're just going to stay there. They're in the main base at the moment. Replenish hordes is the next step of the opening phase. So had we had any gaps in the circle, we would then be taking out our zombie hordes and putting them back in, new ones. So we then move on to the survivor phase. In the survivor phase, the survivors can perform each actions once. Move, develop, which is though spending the XP, trade, if you're on the same space as somebody you can trade, or attack. So you can do any one of those once, or request settlement aid or search. Requesting settlement aid is getting the items on the card here. So for example, if we were at the garage, if we request settlement aid, we would get 2 gasoline. Okay. Let me have a think. Okay, I've had a little bit of a think. Try not to do. I'm going to pause the video, as in you won't notice any difference because it will go straight through. But I mean, I'm going to pause and have a little think. So I've had a little think. So first things first, I think I want to kill the mummy. Try and kill the mummy horde first, because that will counteract the shuffle the horde discard pile and return 1 horde to the top of the current deck. Because there's nothing in the horde discard pile at the moment. So this might not be the ultimate play. So the soldier moves 1 space. So the soldier is going to move 1 space down into the police station. He's then going to attack. He gets 3 dice as standard. And we know because it's garrisoned, we get +1. So what we're looking for here really is either barricades or gasoline. Okay. He gets a supply, a barricade, and 2 ammo, which is not what he wanted. So we don't do anything to either the zombie horde or the mummy horde. You can't. You have to kill him in 1 shot, if that makes sense. I can't put that dice there and then worry about and then try and do something else. I've got to do it in 1 shot. So I didn't do it, unfortunately. He will play Wise Man, which gives us double experience if we get killing these zombies on this day. I'll leave that there just so it reminds me. His special action is he gets 1 extra attack action, so he's going to attack again. Come on. Oh, okay. Right. So he gets 2 gas, a supply, and a barricade. That is enough to kill this zombie horde here, which is 2 gasoline. So that goes to the horde discard pile. We would normally get 2 XP for that horde, but we've played Wise Man, so we get 4 XP, so we go up to 4. I'll keep that there just in case. That meeple goes. And that is it for the soldier. Turnover. Not too bad. The mummy horde is a problem because I haven't got any characters with barricades. Okay, let's play the assassin. The assassin is going to move up to the garage. And then we're going to attack those 2 zombies, the giant horde and the chimera. 4 dice. Needing explosives, supplies, and gas. Okay. So we've got supplies and gas, which kills 1 of those off. I don't think you get the experience for killing it because I haven't actually killed the tile. And we've got the two barricades there that don't do anything. What the assassin is going to do is he's going to spend one of his explosive resources to kill the Chimera Horde. And we get 2 XP for doing that. So we're now at 6 XP. And that is the assassin done. So it's now either the diplomat or the pilot. What's the diplomat got cards wise? We've got not wounded at the moment and we haven't got any wounds, so that's fine. So the diplomat is going to move up to the giant horde and they are going to attack. 3 dice as normal, 4 for the garrison. We need a supply and a gasoline. Okay, excellent. So we've got 2 explosives, which doesn't do anything. We have got a supply and we've got a wild. So that counts. So we use the wild as a gasoline, which kills the giant horde. So we get 4 XP for that. So we're now at 10 XP. Bear with me, I've got some thinking to do. Okay, I've had a think, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to move the pilot down to the police station to try and help out the commando kill the mummy horde. Now, before I do that, I'm going to spend 6 of my XP, so I'm down to 4, to learn a skill, as we discussed. So the police station, we've got the chained symbol, which I think is strength. So we look at the first 3 chains, 1, 2, 3. And we pick one of these for our pilot. We've got carpenter, place a watchtower for free. +1 die in defense when you carry out a barricade, when you carry a barricade resource. We've got demolition, +1 resource dice in attack and defense where you carry 1 or more explosives. And we've got guard, which is your survivor's favoured resource, now counts as a wild roll when defending. Okay, that would have been helpful in attacking. Not the greatest. I think I'm going to take the carpenter and I'll put it to the side of the card. You can't see it. It's really tricky trying to fit everything in here. I'll take the carpenter and these just get put back into the deck. Oh, diplomat's bin. I was hoping to get something that was going to help me with an attack, but I didn't. Really would like to kill this mummy horde. But we do get to place a watchtower for free, which is one of these things. No, not one. That's a watchtower. What do watchtowers do? +1 resource defense, 1 resource dice in defense. Survey. Players may look at any adjacent face-down hordes in the opening phase. Gain 1 experience each opening phase. Only 1 watchtower per settlement. Okay. Where's going to be the best bang for my buck? I think it's either going to be the library or the workshop, because then I'd get to be able to look at all of those. Slums and hospital. I know they're going to read at the start of the opening phase. In the opening phase, we'll put it, because it's quite thematic, we'll put it on the workshop. The workshop seems the place where they'd be building that type of stuff. And then we're going to attack with the pilot. 3 dice as normal, 4 dice because we've got a garrison there, and we're looking for 2 barricades to try and kill it. No, we got an ammo, an explosive, and an gasoline. I think that's it. The pilot can move to any settlement as part of their special rules, or its special rule. Okay, so wise man goes. The mummy horde is a pain. I think what I'm going to do for the survivors, we could move to the slums, because if we're in the slums, we can request settlement aid, which is a barricade, and then come back to try to deal with the mummy horde. But that might be too late. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to move to there. I think that's how that particular, or was that part of their movement? Or is it part of their movement that they can move to any settlement? Yeah, I'm going to leave that. It doesn't feel quite right. It doesn't say you get an additional move. Right, so that's the end of the round, or the survivor phase, because we've all gone. We go to the zombie move. We're going to move the mummy horde there, which now is what's technically called swell. And then the next part is outrun or overrun. So then, quite simply, we go back up to the top of the phase. We reveal Doom. There's no Doom cards there. We move the day tracker. We're now on day 2. We reveal hordes. Opening phase, we get to look any adjacent face down. So we could look at these 3 here. So let's have a look at these 3 here to see what they are. We've got a level 2 flaming horde. It requires 2 ammo. Well, the soldier can go there and do that because he's got 2 ammo. So the soldier can definitely deal with that one. We've got a dark horde, which requires 2 explosives. Well, now we've got the assassin. who's got 1 explosive, so we'd only need to roll 1. Only need to roll 1 or a wild. So those 2 are possible kills. And then we've got a hollow ones, which is a wild and a gas, which the pilot could potentially deal with. We do need to roll a wild. So I think actually we will reveal those. We will reveal those 3. They're level 2s, so they're slightly more difficult to deal with. But it is what it is. Got to kill them sometime. So we've revealed 3, and then we'll reveal this one because we're connected to it anyway. Saves us some moving. Oh, that's a nice little stage 1 wild horde, which requires a gas. Settlers and helpless move. Well, the helpless are going to stay in the main base. They're not going anywhere. You may move those. You don't have to. Replenish hordes. So then what we do is we pop in any gaps of the ones we've killed. And then we go to the survivors phase. Quick pause while I have a think. All right, I think I know what I'm doing. We'll start, I'll just turn these back over because we're all active again. We'll start off with the soldier. Now, because this is going to overrun, and I'm not entirely confident I'm going to be able to roll the 2 barricades, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 2 resources on placing a bulwark in the police station. A bulwark means when a settlement with a bulwark is overrun, remove the bulwark token instead. Multiple bulwarks per settlement are allowed. So that's going to prevent that mummy horde from overrunning this turn. And we've still got 2 XP to spend. Then as we're activating the soldier, he's going to move 1 to the watchtower or to the workshop, and he's going to do an attack. He's going to do an attack, and he's going to roll 3 dice, unfortunately, because he's not got a garrison there. And let's see what he gets. He gets an ammo, a supply, and a wild. So what that will do is that will kill the flaming horde. We'll take the wild as an ammo, which means we've got our 2 ammo to kill that flaming horde. And we get 2 XP for that. I'm immediately going to spend 3 of those down to 1 to place a garrison on the workshop. That's it for the soldier. Oh, he does get 1 extra attack. He gets 1 extra attack. So he's now going to roll 4 dice. See what he gets. Oh, very handy. Very handy indeed. Now we've got 2 choices here. we've got two choices. We could use the wild as it is and use the gasoline to kill these hollow ones. Oh, bugger. I forgot. I've been forgetting to do stuff. I knew I'd forget to do stuff. I'll forget about the last turn, but I should have. The flaming horde, when it comes on, should have done something, which is flame. Yeah, at the end of the zombie phase, survivors on or adjacent to a fire token. This would have had a fire token on it. It's got a fire on it, but we've killed it anyway. And when we kill it, we add a Doom card to the Doom tracker. So that goes there. Sorry, I forgot those about the other ones. The Dark Horde doesn't allow us to use any resource tokens. And the hollow ones always moves to overrun the helpless. We're not so fussed about that. I'm really worried about the Dark Horde though, not allowing us to use resource tokens at all. There are some that don't allow it against that horde. That symbol is against survivors just can't use them. So that's going to change my mind, I think. I'm going to move the wild down to being a explosives. Do the 2 explosives to kill that Dark Horde. Which means we get 2 XP. But unfortunately, we have to draw another Doom card. Wow. These are delightful. We're at 3 XP. We'll save that for the time being. So that was it for the soldier. He's had his 2 attacks. And he's managed to kill 2 zombies. That's awesome. Wild Horde. Hordes overrun settlement in the reveal hordes phase. So this is going to basically be down here. Okay, well, next up we're going to go with the assassin. The assassin is going to stay where they are and try and make an attack on this wild horde. Rolling 4 dice. We need 1 gas or a wild. Well, luckily enough, we didn't get a gas, but we did get a wild, which will turn into a gas to kill that wild horde. For 1 XP, up to 4. Do we want to move the assassin? No, I think we're okay. But I am going to spend 3 XP down to 1 to place another garrison on the police station. My thinking is to try and get. Well, I wouldn't do it in his fight. I wouldn't. I'd do it in the pilot's turn, which is going to be next. So The assassin's done. Nothing we need to spend there. Okay. That's the assassin done. So we've now got the diplomat and the pilot. The diplomat's going to go next and move twice. 1, 2, down to here. And then they're going to roll their dice. We're going to get 3 as normal, +1 for the garrison, +1 for the garrison. So let's roll our dice and see what we get. Oh, man. 3 gasoline. 3 gasoline and 2 explosives. No good to man nor beast. No good to man nor beast. That's frustrating. No, can't do anything with that. That's the diplomat card. These 2 are a nightmare. We're going to go to the pilot's turn. Not going to move, clearly. We want to attack. We've got 1 XP. We can't do anything with that. Do we press the red button? Do we press the red button? Do you know what? If I had a red button pressed in front of me, I would. So we're rolling 2 dice. We don't want to. We don't want a wild. Yes. Yes. So we don't reveal any hordes on day 3. That's awesome. I'm going to put that there so I remember it. We'll put that there so we remember it. And we'll put a little symbol there, just pointing to that, because this is not going to be a sort of consecutive playthrough. So, and then we're going to attack. We're getting our 5 dice. We get 3 as standard, and we get +2. Now, Doom dice, bear with me. No, we can't quite use the Doom dice at the moment because the Doom track has to be full, which it's not. So we've got 5 dice. Man, jeez. No, supply, and explosives, and ammo, and a bulwark. Got nothing there. I've got a gas in my resource, but I haven't rolled the wild for the hollow ones, and I've only rolled 1 bulwark. Ah, man. 10 dice. 10 dice. Didn't quite get what I needed. Okay, so that is it for that phase. Then we move to the zombie phase. This zombie mummy horde would overrun the police station, but it hits the bulwark instead. So we remove the bulwark token as a save, if you like. We then go on to final encounters, and then we move back to day 3. And I'll put my settler into the main base. They're going to start moving next turn, or this turn. But I'm going to call it there. We've been playing for around about an hour now, nearly dead on. So that's the first couple of terms. We're now on to day 3. And we'll see how it goes. Remembering we're not going to be revealing any hordes the next turn. So we've got a little bit of time. We've got to reveal them this turn, obviously. We haven't really built up much around here, which is going to cause us a problem. So I'm thinking really we need to be revealing these 4, because at least then we've got our garrison additional dice. Or we could continue to work on down here to kill these level 2s. Anyway, hoping you're enjoying it, and we will carry on trying to placate the zombies, or not placate them, that's the wrong word, isn't it? We're not trying to soothe them, we're trying to kill them, because it's a zombie outbreak. Anyway, thanks very much, and I will see you on the very next one. Ta-da for now.